we're back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast, the number one podcast in the world for growing your insurance business. Episode 131. I'm Christian Brindle. He's Glenn Shelton. And we are back with you once again, talking some AE and the P. Getting some more information coming out as the days go by.
A plus E equals P, baby.
A to the E, the E to the P. Okay, so
hey,
give me an A.
The new YMCA, bro.
The A E to the P. You guys, there's a lot to talk about as the days go on. We're getting more and more information, kind of uncovering a bit of the landscape of what we think this AEP might look like. And it's looking like it might be a doozy. It's going to be our main topic today. We got a lot to talk about in regards to that. But introducing our topic today, I thought this would be kind of a good starter point. Article comes out, found this super interesting. I debated kind of sharing the article, but I think, it's one of those things where maybe we should. I don't know. I'm debating now live on the show. Essentially, Medicare Part B premium predictions dropped. And again, nobody really knows, right? CMS always puts out a prediction of what they feel like the Medicare Part B premium will be, but that's not usually until like September or October or something like that. This isn't CMS's prediction, is my understanding. It's kind of more of like an analysis prediction, but it's predicting that the Medicare Part B premium in 2026 could be as high as $206.50 a month. Currently, in 2025, it's $185. So that'd be a $21.50 increase. The argument is that it would potentially eat up all of a senior's Social Security cost of living increase. So they'd be staying right where they are.
Sneaky.
Any thoughts to that information? Again, it's speculatism. We don't exactly know what the premiums are going to look like. It's more of a projection, but all signs do point to things going up quite a bit. Cost-wise.
I'm not surprised to hear that. I just saw something this morning, and I think it was something someone posted, so I didn't see necessarily like solid evidence behind this claim, but I think the claim was that major medical costs has increased by 7.5%. So, I mentioned this yesterday on the show, is like, if healthcare costs are increasing faster than inflation, which it appears over the past 12 months, that's what we've seen.
Yes.
And by the way, this bothers me so much that we have this black around us. I'm pretty sure we can customize this, can't we? Like, have this be like the show around the screen share. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna send this to Mr. Randy. So we'll have something beautiful for you guys here soon, for those of you who watch us.
Oops, what did I do? Hang on. We'll get there. Okay.
All right. Seatbelts, everybody. We're getting there.
Okay, so this is the article, the one that we have on the screen. Several articles have come out about it, but this one is specifically by Market Watch. Came out July 15th, so not exactly yesterday. Says the cost of living adjustment is expected to be 2.7% next year. Don't tell me you're going to make me pay. Oh, when I looked at this before, it wasn't doing this. Don't worry. No, not to fear. There's other places I can get this information, I think. Okay. All right. So Projections for the Medicare 2026 income-related monthly adjustment amount, IRMA, are out. That's not really what I was looking for. This is IRMA. I mean, not that that's not important, but topic for another time. Internet. Well, we're just going to go with the AI overview. How's that?
I like it.
On Google. So the standard Medicare Part B premium for 2026 is projected to be $206.50 per month, an increase from $185 in 2025. This is an increase of $21.50 per month and is the largest increase since 2022. For those of you that have been around that long, around that time, there was a massive increase of the Medicare Part B premium in 1 year, the highest it had been in decades in 1 year. And there was so much outrage that they lowered $5 the following year. Because they're like, we're sorry. Don't be mad. Election's getting closer. And yeah, but it went up. I can't remember the exact dollar amount it went up by. It's hard to keep track of every dollar amount each year as these progress, but it was something like $25 or $30 increase per month, something like that at that point in time. So this is a similar increase to that. Again, we won't know the exact numbers until we get a little bit closer, but you know, it's definitely one of those things that we hear as a pain point from clients, and I'm sure many of you watching do as well, when it comes down to these massive Part B premium increases, because it's like, okay, my Social Security is going up. My Social Security is going up to combat the ever increasing costs of things. I'm going to the store. Eggs cost more.
Yep.
I'm going to the store to get bread. It costs more. My gas costs more. Everything costs more. My internet bill went up. Old Comcast is giving me the squeeze. I'm relying on the SS to the A. Okay. And then they wipe out my increase with a large Medicare Part B premium increase. So it's definitely one of those things that I think if it does end up being like this, we'll hear complaints and from clients, and I'm sure many of you will as well. Definitely kind of interesting, and it does kind of wrap into the theme of potentially a really, really nutty AEP.
Yeah, I think to really benefit the Medicare beneficiaries, they have to figure out how to get, I don't know if they're factoring in enough variables, you know, and the scary part is like you see a number like $20, and I know a lot of you might be thinking, big deal, you know, it's $20, who cares? But when you're looking at the low income seniors, every dollar makes a difference. If they're exclusively living on Social Security, I mean, I think we've talked previously, and I feel like I say that more and more every episode. I'm like, we already talked about this. But you know, there's those seniors who are scraping pennies, and you know, I've heard those horror stories of like they're eating cat food. You know, they've got cat food. They're feeding their cats, and like they're eating. That's the sort of stuff that breaks my heart, and that that's not. Yeah, that's the last thing that I want for our seniors. And so any time that we're kind of going in the opposite direction is dangerous. I think it's very dangerous. So we've got to figure out a better solution here where we're not, you know, hey, we're giving you a little bit more on this side, but we're also taking more on this side, and it's a net zero or net negative. You know, that's the part that's a bummer to me. I'd love to figure out a better solution if there's a way. Mehmet, Mr. Mehmet.
I think this might sound bad. I'm debating if I should even say it.
Scary.
Here's the problem. Do we want to talk about the real problem with this? Do we not? Do we want that's what I'm debating right now. The real problem to me is that there's there's so many people that are relying on Social Security as their only source of revenue or income or money in their retirement. It was never made to be that. It was never, when it was created, it was never designed to be the end all be all. It was designed to be a nice little cushion or bump.
It's supposed to help, yes.
In addition to your retirement or your savings or anything like that. I think there's too many people in the country, there's too many people in America that coast through life like butterflies. And they're like, once I get this certain age, I'll start drawing off Social Security and I'm good. And it just ends up, the reality of it being that it's not enough. If it's going to just basically take care of you, if it's going to be your provider, it's not supposed to be that. And I don't think it will ever be able to be that. You know, like, unless we just hemorrhage more money off Social Security, but Social Security already hemorrhages money. It's an ever increasing problem as the senior population ages. People also live a lot longer than they did when they first put the program together in the 60s. And so there's also a lot more seniors. Like, they weren't projecting 60 years in the future when they put that program together. How many more people there would be. They were thinking like the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Like, they're not thinking that far ahead. To me, I think that's the real problem. How do you fix that? I don't think you can. The individual person has to fix that by preparing better during their life, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, I think regardless of how it gets positioned, you're always going to have people who take that and then they look at it like, well, this isn't enough. You know, it's like, well, we gave this to you as a cushion, like you're saying. I mean, you know, I think about my father-in-law. He has Social Security for his retirement. He has Social Security. He also has a pension. And, you know, those two combined it's provided a great income in retirement. And seeing that type of situation, it's like, man, this is great. And I wish every senior could be set up in this same way, whether it's a pension from work or a private pension, an annuity, like whatever the retirement looks like. You know, I think about the future too with AI, you know, this idea of universal basic income that gets floated around. It would to me, that'll kind of be the same thing all over again. Right. It'll be the same thing all over again if that's the direction we end up going.
It'll be Social Security for everyone.
Yep.
And it will never be enough.
Never be
You'll
enough.
have people eating cat food.
Yes, people eating cat food and complaining and saying, you know, well, why is Christian not eating cat food? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think it's definitely a societal issue. That I don't think the government can fix. I think,
no,
and that's a hard reality. I feel like that's why I say, like, the wrong person sees this podcast or listens to this podcast, they're gonna be pissed. They should just pay more.
If you really want to get it, we could get into the Medicaid changes.
Sure.
I don't know if you want to get into that. I mean, that's kind of in line with this whole topic of conversation. Do you know what I'm talking about with those the Medicaid changes that they're proposing?
Maybe. I feel like there's been so many Medicaid alterations that have been floated, or
part of
Big Beautiful Bill stuff.
Part of the Big Beautiful Bill. They're saying in order to qualify for Medicaid, if you aren't disabled, that you have to do 20 hours a week or 80 hours a month of either education, like you have to either be doing some type of education, service work, or in employment, like you're working, you have a job. So it's my understanding that that's already been passed. That was in the Big Beautiful Bill. And that's something that Mr. Mehmet, Dr. Oz, I believe he was very vocal about this change. He really wanted, and and there's again two sides to both of this. There's one side that's saying, wow, I can't believe you're putting requirements on these benefits now. Like, shame on you. Like, how could you? And then the other side is like, why haven't we been doing this from day one?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and in my opinion, when I think about it, I think back to like Great Depression era, where we were trying to get people out there helping, building, doing things. To me, that was a really positive thing. The CCC, all those programs that were created back then that tried to get people out there, and maybe these changes to Medicaid will have a super positive effect. I mean, I think it could be a good thing. We'll have to see, though. It's one of those things where unintended consequences, I don't know. I don't know. We won't know until it actually goes into effect. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting because it does kind of play into this whole idea of, Social Security, not getting enough income benefits. Can someone do more, right? Can someone
Yeah.
potentially do more? And then again, it's this it could have a cascading positive effect, right? Especially we're talking about like service work. I mean, that would be incredible.
Yeah, I think my opinion on it is I think there is so much rampant abuse of our what would
Yes.
you call them, benefit programs?
Yes.
Um,
Entitlement programs,
entitlement
benefit
programs.
programs.
Thank you. Entitlement
You're
our
welcome.
entitlement programs.
You're welcome. You're
I was
welcome.
searching for that exact word. You entitled me to give me that word. No, I do think there's a ton of abuses in those entitlement programs that
Yes.
happen. And so, like, how often have you encountered somebody in your life, whether it be through business or just somebody that you knew personally, and like you just take a look at them and you're like, it is clear they are just milking this. Like, they don't
Oh
really
yeah.
need this.
Oh yeah.
They could be trying harder in their life
All the time.
all the time, right?
All the time.
And so I like the fact that they excluded people that have like real disabilities and things like that. That's I feel like the people that need
Right.
the entitlement programs the most.
Right.
But somebody that just like, I don't have a job. I don't want to get a job. It's like, okay. Like,
okay.
I'd love to not work too.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
why should my tax dollars go to support that dream of yours to have the government pay for you to watch DVDs from 2004 over and over again in your apartment? So
very accurate.
So like, I'm in support of that. I like the idea of being like, okay, you have to be doing something. You have to be contributing to society. We all need to contribute to society in some way or another. And I think anytime we get to a place where people are incentivized not to do that, it's a backward system. We're hiring for positions in ESI right now, as you know.
Yes. Yes.
We talked about this the other day privately. Like, we have seen a lot of people. Now, it doesn't stop us from hiring. We weed out and find the best candidates still. But what we have noticed is there are a lot of people, some of which that will apply for job positions with our company multiple times, over the course of like 6 months, 2 times, 3 times, different job openings that we have. But they'll never call us back when we call them for an interview. And the reason for that is because they're getting unemployment, and unemployment requires them to show that they're applying for jobs and trying, right. That's an abuse of the system as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
So like anything that falls into that line, I am not a supporter of it. And I think anytime you have a system that rewards laziness and is like, you don't want to take care of yourself, I will take care of you. Come here, let me coddle, let me rock, and I'm the government. Like, that's not healthy.
Come here.
That's not
Come
good.
Here, little Billy.
Come here, little Billy. You're having trouble with your sales lately? I will take care of you. I will provide housing. I'll provide food. I'll provide, and I'm not saying that there's not people that should get it, but like, I'm in favor of like, okay, you have to do something to show you're doing something and progressing to be able to earn it. I don't see anything wrong with that.
The reality, though, is even if we had something like UBI, even let's pretend Social Security was all of a sudden like anybody could claim it for any reason, right? You just say, "Oh, I'm not earning enough money. I need UBI," or "Hey, everyone's getting this same benefit." Just like Social Security today that we talked about, like it's not enough. It's not enough.
No,
Even if you were to line up all these different entitlement programs, you're on Section 8 housing, you've got government health insurance, like it can help. It's a true safety net in a lot of ways. Like you can get a lot of these necessities and you can get things, but you're never going to be at the level of comfort that you probably want, especially when you look at, again, the increasing cost of goods and services here in America, in this
yes,
economy.
yes,
It'll never keep up. It'll never keep up. So, the altruistic side of me wants to believe that the government, I guess this is where I almost get bothered with it, is like I want to believe that people are good enough that they want to contribute without the government having to tell them, right? Like it seems absurd to me that the government has to be like, "Hey, you need to do something with your life." Like, do we really need that? Like, do we really need someone to step in and do that? I'd like to think that, everyone would be trying to contribute and do things and whatever that looks like, right? I'm not trying to say they have to work. It could be service work, could be education. I love that they kind of gave some broad examples of what that looks like. But it's absurd to me that the government even has to tell anybody to do this. Like, I'd like to think everyone would just do it anyways.
and I think there's a lot of people out there that would just have the desire to do it anyways. Like you and I are people
Yeah.
that like, if we were in that situation, we'd be like, I want to do something with my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like we would, I feel
I
very
want to do
confident
something.
both of us
Yeah.
would have that reaction. But I think there's too many people that are comfortable being taken care of and not doing anything. I think there's a lot of those people out there. And I think it's come from decades and generations where they've been told they don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And I think it's a societal issue. I really do. And I think the only
Yeah.
way you change that is by changing it and
Yeah.
changing the rewards that come associated with it. And I think this potentially could be a step in that direction. So yeah, I've never been crazy about the idea of, somebody not doing anything. They're fully abled, they're capable, they could go work, but they don't. And everything is just provided for them in their life. I've never been crazy about that. I'm like, what's wrong with you again? I'm like, why can't you work? I always, oh, the job market's hard right now. Be like, is it though? Like, is it though? Like, I pull up my phone. I'm like, there's 400 jobs within 20 miles of you that are hiring right now. Have you looked at any of those? Yeah, a few months ago. Haven't looked
I
since.
submitted my resumes.
Did anyone call you? Oh yeah, they all called. Did you
Yeah.
do an interview? No, I didn't have time. I'm gonna get back to them. The last season of Battlestar Galactica was on.
Just picked up season 9 of Lost. I don't even know if there's 9
Cobra
seasons.
Kai had to see what happened. Sensei Kreese. What you gonna do, Sensei Kreese? So like, yeah, I know. I think that definitely relates to the conversation. It's a complicated, tricky thing because it's one of those things where it's like the government. There's people that'll say the government should just do more. It's like, from where though? What pot
Right.
should this come out of?
Yeah.
We're already in massive debt. It grows every year, and I think it's not a good thing for us to be wasting resources.
I totally agree. Guys, I want to get into today's sponsor before we get to the main topic here. Today's sponsor of episode 131 of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast is brought to you by Hire Heroes. And we have a massive AEP webinar coming up next Wednesday. That's a week from today. So you have 7 days to register for this webinar. The webinar is called How to Triple Your Business in AEP 2026 with Virtual Assistants. The link will be in the stream below this video, or you can head over to hireheroes.com and register for this webinar. We will have an exclusive bonus for live attendees, so you will be able to take advantage of something that not everyone will get an opportunity to do. On top of that, limited spots are available. So if you want to learn how you can work with a virtual assistant this coming AEP and learn strategies, tips, and tricks to eliminate low-level tasks, no revenue generating tasks that are going to slow you down and keep you from writing apps, or keep your agents and your agency from writing more apps, you need to be on this webinar. You need to be there. So check it out. Head over to hireheroes.com today. hireheroes.com, hireheroes.com.
Boom.
Hey, good job. You didn't say it today.
um,
Good job.
Let's shift gears into the main topic, right? I have a feeling we're going to need every minute of the rest of the show today to talk about it. Okay, AEP. AE to the P, as it's been called. Okay. Every day that passes, it seems like there's more information that comes out that suggests that this upcoming AEP is going to be a doozy. Okay. Yesterday's show, episode 130, we talked about this latest change in PDP subsidies that CMS is providing, shrinking by essentially a third, causing them to be able to raise premiums even if they opt in on the PDPs. Even if they opt into the subsidy and agree to the cap on the premium increases, they still can increase it a lot more than they could have last year, right? There's been several carriers, without naming any names, that have started to, push out first looks, which is essentially like a preview for brokers and agents to be able to get an idea of roughly what their plans are going to look like for next year. So we're starting to get kind of a little bit of a glimpse of what the market will look like. A very large carrier, it's been rumored, I won't say the name, but a very large carrier, it's been rumored, that has kind of I didn't get a chance to read the whole article. My understanding is it was talked about on an investor call. But they'll be terminating 600,000 Medicare Advantage members this come AEP. Now, last year, a big theme of AEP was plan cancellations. There was around 2 million beneficiaries, which was the highest of all time, that saw their plans get terminated last year. Now, the trend is, and the word on the streets is, that a lot of the plans we've seen that have moved to non-commissionable with several carriers are a lot of the plans that are going to be culprits to being terminated, which we kind of suspected when a lot of these non-commissionable plans came out, right? The carriers wanted to stop the bleeding on having these plans sold, and ultimately they just want to find ways to do away with them. So a lot of them are being done away with, or will be done away with, it looks like, for next year. And so it looks like we're going to see a lot of plan cancellations. The trend is, from what I'm gathering, that there should be a lot of PPO plans that get the axe. Seems like the PPO model is not something that a lot of the carriers want to really embrace right now, because they can't control spending and costs as much as they can with an HMO product, because they have flexibility, right? In and out of network stuff. So there's that. This AEP could see as many, if not more, plan cancellations next year. And the disruption we saw with the PDP premiums we thought we'd see last year, but didn't as much, we might see this year. So what is your thought to all of that, good sir, of what we're kind of seeing in terms of this. Lots of plan cancellations, plan disruptions, PPO plans kind of shifting by the wayside, and PDP premiums to the moon. Like Dogecoin, they're going to the moon.
Again, I'm seeing the two camps forming already in my head when I hear this. There's going to be the camp of agents who circle the wagons, and their entire mission will be retention and rewriting clients. And then the other camp will be the agents and the agencies and the FMOs and IMOs and call centers who see the opportunity that this can be, that all of this change, all of this disruption can lead to more confusion, more seniors needing and wanting help, wanting to move plans. The reality is, if the waters are really calm during AEP and there's not much going on, there's not going to necessarily be as many seniors who need to change plans, right? Previously, I feel like what we were seeing with the benefits getting increased higher and higher and higher, where everyone's trying to make their plan as sexy as possible to try to outcompete other plans, it kind of became more of, a sales model of, hey, well, let's get you some more benefits compared to this plan. But as we start to see more turbulent waters, the reality is just being knowledgeable, knowing what's going on, being able to help seniors is going to be the ticket. So, my first thought as we're getting closer to this and we're starting to learn more information, and we've kind of already knew what was coming, right? We've already talked about this a lot, but it's now is the time to really figure out, like, what camp do you want to be in? Which agent do you want to be? Do you want to be the agent that's just trying to protect your clients, trying to protect your book of business? Or do you want to realize that, hey, I can do that and I can also grow it and take advantage of the market that we're seeing? It's very much so akin to the stock market when there's blood in the streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people, when the stock market tanks, they'll liquidate their assets at that point, right? I mean, how many times have we seen that or heard that, right? Stock market drops 20%. Everyone freaks out, pulls their assets out. Now they just took a loss. And then the people who are really making money, they're the ones that are like, oh man, I need to dump a bunch more capital in because we just dropped off. That's the way I look at this type of disruption in this AEP is, when people are freaking out and they're pulling out, or, that type of mentality, it's like, this is the time to really go all in, you guys, to take advantage of this. I think it'll be easier to grow than ever before, potentially, if you really have the right mindset coming into this. What do you think about that?
I totally agree with you. I think this episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast is brought to you by Everything Senior Insurance. Guys, if you're looking for an FMO in 2025 to be a partner with you and really support the overall growth of your business, Everything Senior Insurance is the one-stop shop to allow you to get plugged in with great resources. Whether it's ACA contracts you're looking for, whether it's Medicare contracts you're looking for, whether it's final expense and life contracts that you're looking for, Everything Senior Insurance has got you covered. We provide a free CRM in seven-figure CRM to all of our agents that meet the proper requirements on their contracting and have enough contracts with us. We provide discounted leads with Lead Heroes, discounted virtual assistants with Hire Heroes, and we provide just year-round support to just be there and help you out in your business, as well as fantastic training. Glenn, what do people need to know about Everything Senior Insurance, the FMO?
At Everything Senior Insurance, we've really combined all of our resources to create an FMO that can be a true one-stop shop for a senior insurance agent. Most FMOs have only maybe one resource or even no resources beyond offering that contract. We want to provide value to you as an agent to help you grow your book of business. Or if you want to create an agency, we want to help you grow your agency. And there's so many resources that we have put together to really help you grow your business. So if you are looking for a true partnership, someone that will invest in your business, please reach out to Everything Senior Insurance. We would love to help you grow.
Thanks for listening to this message. And now back to the show. There's going to be, you mentioned 2 camps. I think that's spot on. I think the first camp you mentioned of the people that are focused on retention, they're going to be people with, semi large to large books that have not invested in infrastructure to allow them to not have to do it all themselves, or the vast majority of it themselves. Like that would look like hiring staffs, putting systems in place, automations, technology, that camp. And that camp is going to say, I have 1,000 people to rewrite, or I have 500 people to rewrite. I don't have time for anything else. Then there's going to be the camp that is, of course, dealing with the same thing. Everyone's going to be dealing with the same thing in terms of that, if that ends up being the reality. But they can handle that, as well as having the additional resources that they've invested into and developed to be able to capture new business too. And I feel like the first camp always has the outlook of like, you guys want to grow? You're not taking care of your clients, then I'm going to be the white knight. I'm going to take care of them while you're just going to want to grow. And they're just like sneering their nose, like, and they don't understand that there's plenty of groups out there that are doing that just as well, if not better than you, but they're also growing in exponential fashion as well.
It's that same mentality of, I have to be the one to do all the customer service.
Yeah.
Because my clients want to work with me. My clients love me. I can't have an assistant. I can't have an LOA handle any of my book. It has to be me. That's the same mentality as this agent that's coming to AEP that's like, I can't possibly take on new clients. I need to be full-time, just focused on retention for 7-8 weeks during AEP. It's that same mindset.
And how many times have both of us had conversations with agents where this conversation will come up and it's like, and they'll come back and they'll be like, no, listen, you don't understand. My clients will only deal with me. I'm like, you're not special. Everyone has said that. Everyone has said that.
I hired someone. It didn't work.
I said that.
It didn't work.
Once upon a time. I hired one person. It didn't work. They were smoking pot in my office. I had to fire them. It was traumatic. You don't understand. I went back.
You don't understand.
I went back. I opened their door, and there was this thing. I didn't know what it was. It was eluding smoke. It smelled bad. I later found out it was what the kids call a bong. I was mortified. Drugs in my office.
Oh my gosh. Anytime I'm confronted with this perspective, these stories, these agents, I always just want to be like, there's so many examples of super successful agencies, super successful agents, IMOs, FMOs, where the book of business is being handled by somebody other than the agent. Mm-hmm. The writing agent, you don't have to do all of the customer service work. And when it comes to retention, you can have systems, automations, assistants, non-licensed people, virtual assistants. You can have so much in place to help you handle this retention. So your time as a writing agent or your writing agents aren't bogged down. It's not an either or conversation. I feel like if we play back what I said the first time, it's probably sounded like that to you guys. It probably sounded like you can either focus on retention or you can focus on writing new business. It's not either or. It's not either. We're not doing one or the other. We're doing both. Both.
I didn't think you communicated it that way. I think you communicated it really clearly that it's like there's 2 camps of like their outlook on the situation.
Yeah.
But it's certain, like I would say the second camp that you mentioned, they are oftentimes treating it like, yeah, we can do both. We're going to grow. Yeah, but we're going to grow, but we don't want to lose half of our book or a third of our book that we have now. That's not what they're trying to do either. Some of them are. Some groups, that's their mentality, right? Like, shout out penny stock call centers. But no names
Pink
or anything.
sheets, baby.
Pink sheets. Thank you for calling Pink Sheet Insurance. How can we help you today?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sorry. I meant a Select Quote. No, just kidding. Thank you for calling Select Quote. No, I think
got a special Christian
what
on
happened
the show today.
What happened today, you guys? So yeah, I think one question that will come up from this, there will be people that will watch this, and there'll be those people that just feel trapped. Like we talked to a lot of people last year that and I feel for them because we didn't have to deal with this necessarily internally, but like in certain markets, they would have had 1,000 members be terminated that they have to be rewritten, right? That's a tough thing to deal with, for sure.
For sure.
If someone finds himself in a place like that where there is just a huge amount of business, and what could they have done or could do in their business to deal with it? It might be too late now to build the infrastructure you need if you're just trying to start now. But
there's still a lot. There's still a lot that could be done though.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's walk through it.
Yeah,
like that for that person, right? And I don't want them to walk away feeling like we're just poking fun for an hour. What could they be doing?
It's too late.
It's too late.
Sell your book. It's over. We'll buy it.
You wouldn't believe what I saw. There was smoke coming out of his nose like a dragon.
I'm gonna have to bring my wife in to run the agency with me. It's the only way. I
We
don't
have
trust
kids.
anybody.
We're gonna pay for daycare. It's gonna be like $1,500 a month. But she'll be free. She'll be
We're
free.
getting canceled for this one. There's a lot that can.
We'll
still
never
be
see our
done.
children again. They'll just rot in the daycare.
There's still a lot that can. I mean, right now, as of this recording, it's July 30th. So you have essentially 60 days still until AEP. So that's a lot of time to still get ahead of this if you are in a position as an agent where you don't have any infrastructure, or maybe this is only like your second or third AEP, and you're still just trying to figure it out, and you're like, I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be doing. What are some of these different things that you can do? Well, one is, I think the letters, and Christian has actually shared the letters that ESI sends out to their clients, our agency, and I think so that alone makes a big difference, right? So it's these touch points is really what it comes down to. It's the communication and the touch points. Because if you aren't communicating, or if you have this mindset that you're going to wait till October 15th and you're going to get on the phone yourself as the agent and call your clients, that's a huge waste of time. So maybe you want to talk about some of these touch points?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, for us, right, I feel like we do it a little simpler than people might think. There's a lot of people that talk a lot about like, group client meetings. And we've tried those before. Frankly, I think our clientele is just too big, right? Like, I think it's just a little overwhelming, and it's a little inefficient for us even still. And the answer is not meeting with everyone one-on-one either. It's handling as much as possible over the phone, and doing appointments over the phone, meeting in the office with people that need to. But that ends up being filtered out into a small portion of people. But we don't do these group client AEP meetings, and and I'm not saying that anybody that does them shouldn't do them. I think they can be a good thing, but I think once you get into the 2,000-3,000 client range and upwards from there, I think it's tough, man. I mean, I think that's a lot of work to try to do those and have them really be effective. Like let's say you have 1,000 people on one plan.
What if they're all over?
You do these meetings,
and what if your clients are all over the U.S.? How are you supposed to do a group? Yeah, how are you supposed to do a group meeting with 30 states?
All different plans, everything like that.
Going on a road trip? Is it a road show? You doing a road show?
But even if you're doing the group of rollouts and things like that, and even if you're doing them like, let's say you are regional and you do have all your clients in one place. Let's say you do have 1,000 clients on one plan. You're going to do 5 meetings to 200 people a meeting. It's a lot. I feel like once you get to a certain point, there's a better way, in my opinion. And so for us, the way that we've done it is we send an AEP letter out. Glenn's right. I post them in the Facebook group every single year. We're actually probably pretty close to start working on this year's letter internally. Yes. And we send one to Medicare Advantage members, one to Med Sup members. We mail them out. We also email blast them out.
The videos too. That's a big one. I feel like.
So then we typically are able to get on all the, if we have a bunch of members on one plan, let's say that scenario, we have 1,000 members on one plan. Let's say we have emails for 800 of them. Because you're never going to have emails for every person. Someone just might not have an email or whatever the case might be. We'll make a video going through the ANOC, explaining the differences. We'll put together the differences as bullet points in an email with a link to the video. It's a private video, like maybe an unlisted one on YouTube. And then we'll schedule that to automatically email blast out to all those members that have that plan. Come October 1st, in the morning of October 1st, as soon as that information can be publicly distributed like that. And so by doing that, we also have an idea, a game plan going in. What is our viewpoint on this plan? Should people keep it in general or should people change in general? Because you kind of have an idea, right? A plan might be good and all of a sudden it sucks. And you're like, we should move some of these people. Yeah. On the other side, you're like, this plan looks good. It still looks very competitive. It hasn't changed much. Most people should stay. We put our recommendation in the video, in the email, and also in the video, and what we think. And a lot of people will take that, and they'll respond back to us, and they'll be like, "Hey, this looks great. Thanks for the information. I'll call if I have any questions, but I think I'm good for next year." And that saves us time from having to do a consultation with that person.
Yes.
And we did a whole podcast where I went a lot more into depth with this already in the live one, but like that's an example, right? Like of efficiency. Then we'll call our MA people, our staff will do it. We'll break them up into groups, and for the people that don't respond to the email, and we'll walk through with them over the phone the same information that's in the email.
But by that point, the majority of this has already been handled. That's the thing, is like, I feel like that's the starting point that a lot of you guys start at. You're starting at, well, I better get on the phone and start calling all these people, whether that's you or your team. By the time we're looking at getting on the phone with people, it's almost more like we're playing cleanup, is kind of how I look at it. Like, I feel like we've crossed handling the majority of these individuals just by doing the email, the letter, the video, and again, potentially some other email communication, like with that video going out. But the majority of people have already gotten touch points from us. So now we're really just kind of playing cleanup. And we've also done the research too of, well, these people are probably going to want or need to change.
Yeah.
So you already know those people. So,
and we handle them a little differently, right? Like we might call them and schedule them with agents in the office, or their agent in our office, or something like that. It definitely does take us, because there's thousands of Medicare Advantage members we'll call. It will take us a lot of times a couple of weeks, but oftentimes by the time we hit October 15th, we're either done with that or close to done with that. And, what we've done is we've essentially filtered down the people that are good and don't need to change. And then the people that do need to change, they're scheduled out on agents' calendars, a lot of which we've already figured a lot of stuff out. And on October 15th or after, we can make their plan change with them. We can get back with them and make their plan change. So yeah, I think, our process is really dialed in. It's something we've tried a lot of different things, and this has been the most efficient, effective way for us to get this done. And, ultimately it's one of those things where it allows us to spend more time writing new business. So we accomplish both, right? We couldn't do it without staff. We could not. If I was by myself, this wouldn't work.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it without good technology systems. We couldn't do it without outsourcing. Like, we're not stuffing the envelopes ourselves. We send the letters to a mail house and say, here's a list of people that this letter goes to. Send it, son. Let me swipe my credit card. They're like, I feel like I have to say that because people are like, so you're stuffing the envelopes.
Right.
For
the audio only. Christian just aggressively licked and stuffed 3 or 4 envelopes. So I apologize if you missed that. But yeah, you bring that up, and again, going back to the agents that love to brag about doing all of the work themselves, they almost feel like it's this badge of honor. I talk to you guys all the time. I talk to you on social media, over the phone, in person at events. Like, I talk to you guys all the time. And it is insane to me. Like, if you were to try it, let's say you had a book of business of 2,000 clients, and let's say you wanted to send maybe 2 different touch points. So what, you're going to stuff and mail 4,000 pieces of mail, like, by yourself?
And some of you do it, and you're like,
oh, I know. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, this is real.
And a lot of times the argument for it is, I handwrite the address on the envelope myself. The personal touch when they get it. Oh, wow.
I want to personally thank each client. I want them to know that it's me and I'm still here and blah, blah, blah. And again, we got to get off this. So 9 minutes, Glenn. 9 minutes, Glenn. 9 minutes. We got to get out of here. It's the part, though, the part that bothers me. Like part of it is just the inefficiency that bothers me. But what bothers me even more is this idea that, like, an agent feels it's virtue signal. They're trying to virtue signal that I'm doing all of this manual work myself, therefore I'm better than you. And it's just like Christian said, it's like, just swipe your card. Just swipe your card and move on. You don't have to do all the licking.
I have a question for you. Related to this.
Oh, God.
This might really piss off a lot of people. This next question, okay?
We're on a countdown today, you guys.
Okay, buckle in, okay? This question might upset a lot of people, but I got to ask you. Do you feel, because people say the argument for that, for the doing the licking and the handwritten everything, is the personal touch of their handwritten. Like, I've heard that, handwriting their name and address on the envelope, like not even writing the letter, but like the handwriting of, like, that's the personal touch. And do you feel like there's any value to that whatsoever of the handwritten stuff? Or is it just a total waste of time? Is it just a myth? Is it just like a misconception that people overvalue that as a personal touch? Do you think there's any value compounding in your business?
So there is statistically, you could probably say someone's more likely to open mail that looks handwritten versus, because we get so much junk mail. We all get so much junk mail. So if it looks like junk mail and it just kind of falls into everything else and they throw it away and they never read it, obviously that's problematic. So you used to be able to make the argument that if it didn't look handwritten, they're not going to open it. I have gotten so much junk mail that looks handwritten though. So you can it's a lot of times it's just a font. Like you just pick the right font, the right paper,
and it looks handwritten. Yeah,
and
like
it looks handwritten.
Our thank you notes and
yeah,
and birthday letters.
Yeah, they look handwritten.
You've got them.
They look handwritten. Yeah, I've got
you're
them.
A client.
I'm a client. I'm a client. I'm an ESI client.
I get them too. Every year on my birthday. I always forget that's coming too. Every year. I never expect.
Like, what is this? I'm like, what is this?
I'm like, Durr? I'm like, oh, that's us.
That's like, that's so nice of my company.
We thought of us. We thought of me.
Yeah. We thought of me.
But no, I think that's a great point. Like, but I've talked to people that will argue to the death about this. They're like they can tell it's not handwritten. It's clearly print. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I've done it both ways. I legitimately 100% can say
it's a small difference.
I've seen a small difference to no difference.
Small difference to no difference. And if it really matters to you, you can like upload your handwriting to there's websites out there. Like you can upload a bunch of your handwriting and then it will create a font based on your handwriting. And then again, that's my whole point of this is like, even if you're right, even if someone's like, hey, I know for a fact I'm getting more people to look at my mail when I handwrite it, blah, blah, blah. Then upload your handwriting somewhere and still let someone else do it. Let technology do it. Let a computer do it. It doesn't make sense. Not to mention, I remember I used to be this person. Did you do it? Did you write your own thank yous for a while?
For a little while, yeah, for a little while.
Thank you. I remember my hand being numb sometimes, because I do it like once a month. I had like 60 apps I had to do thank you cards for. And it's just like, thank you so much, Mrs. Jones. I hope your policy gives you the peace of mind that you want. Please call me or let your friends know that I'm here, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
so here's the other thing too. Like, so I've talked to people that will say, I have my assistant do it. That's a waste of your assistant's time.
Correct.
Like, there's no scenario where doing it by hand internally is a good thing. Let's say it gets you an extra 2 referrals a year opposed to not doing it. Because people think they'll just stop getting referrals if they do it any other way. Imagine all the hours that you spend doing that and all the extra business you could be writing. Those extra 2 referrals could be keeping you from 200 extra apps.
If you were to do like 4,000 pre-AEP letters by yourself, I mean, that's like that could be 40 hours worth of work just doing 4,000 letters by yourself. It's crazy. And so when you think about if you spent that time selling, how much more revenue you would generate versus whatever you think is going to happen by doing that all yourself. You retain a few extra people, you get a few extra referrals. There's still no way the math works. There's no way you can prove the math to me that says I spent 40 hours doing this personal letters versus having a company do it.
So here's some statistics. This will kind of be my final thoughts. You'll never find a company that's got a bigger book of business than ours that does this. We have more clients than any person in America that does these handwritten crap. We don't do it. And you'll never.
I love how much this bothers you.
It's so bothersome to me. But so the last statistic, you'll also never find anybody that does this that has a higher retention rate than we do. We have close to a 98% retention rate the last 12 months on thousands and thousands of clients. So we have a better retention rate, we have a bigger business, and we don't do this. So I'm still waiting. It's 7-8 years we stopped doing these handwritten stuff. I'm still waiting for us to crash and burn and lose all our business. But we have a better retention rate. now than we did then. We have more referrals now than we did then.
Yeah.
Everything is better than it's ever been. So you can never convince me that it makes any kind of difference.
As the new agent, and here's my final thoughts. As a new agent, I would have potentially tried to argue this point, but the reality is one, I don't think it makes a statistical noticeable difference. If
Yes.
it does, it's very slight. Two, it doesn't scale. You cannot scale with your agency and write all these letters every single year. You can. I'm not saying you can't physically do it. You can, but you're going to start burning your time. You're essentially burning money because time is money.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, to circle back to the main topic here, I know we got off in the weeds there on the letters for the last 10 minutes here. We've gotten
yeah, we did.
But I do think that this is ultimately it's a mindset. It's a mindset game of, are you just going to focus on retention? Are you just going to be scared you're going to lose clients because of the craziness of AEP? It is kind of this chicken little mindset, the chicken little agent mindset versus, this other mindset of, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity, the change in the marketplace, the fear. I'm hearing it from my parents. They're beneficiaries, they're our clients. They are already seeing, they're scared of some of the changes that are coming. So I have a feeling that's how probably the majority of Medicare beneficiaries are. It's not just us agents who are talking about industry changes and what's going to happen and what's going on with my plan. I'm sure majority of beneficiaries are having these conversations, right? I hear the seniors at the gym and at the pool sometimes talking about stuff like that as well. Like, it's just, this is happening. So, what camp do you want to be in? Do you want to just circle the wagons and try to protect your book and be fearful and not focus on growing? Or do you want to do that and maximize what's going on with this fear and this change? Because you can really grow. This can be a big moment to grow. And we might, who knows how many more AEP opportunities we'll have like this. Because I do probably harder to grow when it is smooth sailing.
Yeah, I totally agree. Guys, that brings us to the end of episode 131.
We did it. We did it, you guys.
You just gotta make sure. If you walk away from this episode with anything, just make sure you're not doing the please don't.
Oh my God.
Appreciate you guys. Whatever platform you're consuming this episode on and you made it all the way to the end, we certainly appreciate your support. Whatever the platform of your choice allows you to do, please like, comment, subscribe, give us a 5-star review. We appreciate all the engagement and all the support you guys provide. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of the 7 Figures or Bust podcast. Here's to your massive success, and we'll see you on the next one.
Happy selling.